Welcome in, everybody. It is Waggin Tails Wednesday. All sorts of stuff is in the news, including the norovirus, which the numbers are skyrocketing. What is norovirus? Well, people are calling it the stomach flu, but it's not the flu. It is called norovirus. It is a virus and it is everywhere. And later on in the show, we're going to talk a little bit about ways that you can avoid it. I've had some very near and dears that have had that. And oh my goodness, it's something that you do not want to have. You do definitely not want to have this. Isn't that right, Mona? Ooh, bad news. Hey, we're going to start with our Daily Yummy today. We took a trip out to Black Diamond Culinary, and they're doing something really fantastic for Valentine's Day. We have something very exciting for sweethearts coming up for Valentine's Day at Black Diamond Culinary in Cool Springs. Chef Chris, tell us what you got planned.
So this Friday, the 10th of February, we are doing an aphrodisiac dinner, right? Everybody sex sells, right?
Yeah.
So we have some very sexy foods that we're going to be serving up for our beautiful Valentine's dinner on Friday.
Oh, that's fantastic. What are some of the things? Okay, let's talk about oysters.
So we're going to do oysters actually two different ways. We're going to serve raw oysters. Not everybody is crazy about fresh wild oysters. So raw oysters. So we're going to also do them as gratin and bake some as starting off on our menu for the evening.
Oh, that's fantastic. Now, what about chocolate? You got to have a romantic chocolate
Oh,
event. And you got an event meal planned.
We have a gorgeous meal planned for the whole aphrodisiac dinner this Friday, and our chocolate dessert is going to be stunning. So we're not going to give away all the secrets, but it's going to be really fabulous. So we're looking forward for your experience at Black Diamond Culinary.
I know when food is an event, you come to Black Diamond, right?
Right.
In Music City just hits different. It's one big honky-tonk party. It's the sea of gold in the crowd. The goals, the saves, the celebrations. It's an experience like no other. Don't miss a minute of the action this season. Visit NashvillePredators.com/tickets to get your seats today. That's NashvillePredators.com/tickets. And we'll see you at Bridgestone Arena.
Bridgestone Arena, February 13th, a new home. Do they call it a homestand? I know they do at the Nashville Sounds. They call it a homestand when they're playing at home. I don't know what they call it in hockey. I just love hockey games. I don't know anything about what I'm watching. Nothing. I am so Southern. Hockey, I don't know. I don't know nothing about no hockey, but it is fun to watch. And I like you don't have to sit out in bleachers. Well, you guys, Murray Regional Hospital is a real gem, and I really love it. I've been the voice of Murray Regional Hospital for a lot of years, part of what they do and telling people about what they have there. But I was especially thrilled about their pet therapy program.
I'm Jeff Kane, and this is Felix. He's a pet therapist here at Murray Regional Hospital, and we have the privilege of visiting patients and staff, bringing, as I say, love and support to these wonderful folks here at Murray Regional. I continually be amazed when Felix and I walk into a room, it's all him. The people's demeanor changes. There's a magic in these animals. I think what it says about Murray Regional is they do everything they can to bring in whatever kind of therapy and help for the patients and staff. And it's a new world we live in that they found these animals provide that kind of care and therapy. He's a pet therapist that humans can't bring to the table. He does all the work. He breaks barriers. We connect with people. He's a bridge for me to talk and offer what I can to folks. But he breaks the ice, lowers the tension, builds an atmosphere of love and support. And it's unbelievable. And he doesn't say a word. If you want the thrill of your lifetime, if you want to make a difference in someone's life, if you and your animal want to even get a deeper bond together, if you want somewhere to really utilize that pet even more than what he's doing for you or she, be pet therapist. It's going to be a lot of hard work, a lot of training, but you'll go to a deeper relationship with your animal, and you'll see things that you never saw before in your life with an animal and what they can do, and it'll take you to new heights.
I love that pet therapy, Murray Regional Hospital in Murray County, where we have Main Street Murray, our newspaper that covers all things Murray. Wherever you are from, we have a newspaper pretty much that covers your area. Middle Tennessee is covered by Main Street Media of Tennessee, and we love great stories of motivation. And our friends at Centerstone deals with mental health, addiction, recovery, and they do so much for military. But I thought this story was really important, and it's how someone took mental health issues and some addiction issues and transformed them through the work at Centerstone and became part of the program.
My name is Laura, but you guys can call me Lori. I was suicidal. I was very depressed. I couldn't work. I couldn't hold down a job. I was not good for this world. And my therapist suggested that I go to a program where there were other people that were going through the same things that I was going through. So they suggested psychosocial recovery and peer support. By the time I got to Centerstone, I was not associating with other people at all. I wouldn't talk. I wouldn't go to any groups. I just came and sat. So we were at a Valentine's party. Everybody was dancing. Daryl, one of the staff members, asked me to dance. I got up and I started dancing. And that just broke me open. Just broke me open, and I haven't been the same since. I started going to every group that they had. They have annual voting for president, vice president, and secretary. I got voted in as secretary. The next year, I got voted in as president. Then I became a volunteer, and then finally they asked me to be hired on as staff. I thought, me? Staff? I'm just one of the clients. You know, and I thought, wow, they must see something in me that I didn't know I had. You know, they must see something special. And it allowed me to be who I am today. My title is a peer educator. I'm a peer recovery specialist. I found that because I am a former client, that a lot of the clients want to come to me and talk to me. I know what it's like to sit in those chairs. I know what it's like to feel confused. I know what it feels like to be so deep in depression that you can't see out at all. Actually being able to sit myself next to them and say, I know what you're going through. Here's what we're going to do. Centerstone is one-of-a-kind place. They can help you find that part of your life that's missing. It's in Centerstone. Centerstone saved my life. I am just gonna say thank you.
The eyes. I can't with the eyes. What? That again? It literally just dropped out of his butt.
I just want to tell you what you're watching. The Daily Giggle brought to you by 50 Forward. When you think cows don't enjoy affection and that cows don't have emotion and cows don't respond, this is my friends over at the Gentle Barn, and they had one of the cows and they started giving her a nice little rub down. As far as at my farm, a wire brush, Stevie is going to be your friend for life. But that's my blind steer. He loves the wire brush. He loves to be brushed. Well, this is what happens when you love on a cow and you get them at the right
The
spot.
eyes. I can't with the eyes.
Kind of like when we get a massage, they really love that too. Hey, we're going to check out some of our comments. Howdy do to Angie, to Jeannie, to Elizabeth. And Elizabeth, thank you so much for letting me know when hockey is played at home. It's called home ice. See, the Minnesota girl, Minnesota and Michigan and all those, the M states, you guys know. Eric Byford is with us today. Music City Cares Veteran Day Benefit Show is on again this year, benefiting Operation Stand Down in Tennessee. Want to talk to you about it. Eric, I want to talk to you about that too. We love our programs for our veterans. You know what? We love our programs for songwriters too. And Dave Linehan is a guest today. He is in our waiting room. We're going to invite him on. He has I look for animal songs on Waggin Tales Wednesday. He's got a song that I had to listen just because I tell everybody when we talk about songwriting, have a compelling title and people will listen. He's got a new song called Squirrel Train that really got my attention, and he joins us now. Dave, how are you?
I'm great, Devin. Just a pleasure to talk to you.
Likewise. Well, you have a show that features songwriters all the time. What is the name of your show and how can people hear it?
I do. Thank you for mentioning that. It's called Songwriter Connection, and it started during the pandemic. I had an old friend from radio call me. He's due to traffic on my show.
Yeah.
And said, would you be on my podcast? And I said, on one condition, you show me how to do a podcast and I'll do it. So it was just mixing two passions. I love songwriting and I love broadcasting, especially interviewing folks. So it's been a good thing. I enjoy it so much.
Well, moving from broadcasting to songwriting, people think of that as a leap, but it really isn't, because I said, I will guarantee you as a broadcaster, you spend more time listening to hit songs than anybody else on the planet, right?
Absolutely. You are so right. And look at you. I mean, you're a hit songwriter as well. So, I mean, yeah, it's, you got to
listen to songs. I go, would you become a writer without ever reading a book? No. And people, and I always think it's so funny when I hear songwriters say, I never listen to the radio. And I'm going, that's really interesting. You'll relate to this because yesterday I got to speak to Jack Timpson, who wrote Peaceful Easy Feeling. And he's a solo write. It was a solo write, just he by himself for the Eagles. And it was released as a song 50 years ago. Is that not great? It still sounds just as fresh today.
Absolutely. I still love playing that song out. We do covers. I love that song. Yeah.
You
Pretty
know,
cool.
you performed at a place called 12 Keys, and
I do.
and I wanted you to talk a little bit about that
Yeah.
venue too, because songwriters, we always hear the Bluebird, we always hear the listening room, but 12 Keys is kind of off the beaten path, but it's a great place, a songwriter room.
It really is. Yeah, Mo owns it, Mo Strommel, and his wife,
Mhm.
Dawn. And they've been open a little over a year now, but he is a songwriter too. So he gets it. And he calls his place it is a beer joint with a music problem.
I love it.
And
I love it.
it's just a nice little place, you know. And on this side of town, east side of town, there wasn't a lot for
No, right.
songwriting. Yeah. So we were so happy to see him. And I just went in one day when they first opened. I said, I'd love to do a writer's night here if you wouldn't mind. It's exactly what we're looking for. So we started that on Wednesday nights, and we've been doing a little over a year now, and it's been just going so great. I love it, you know.
Well, I got to hear, so it's a little bluegrass, it's a little folk, it's a little groove and blues too. Squirrel Train. Let's talk a little bit about your song.
Sure. Well, I write a lot with an artist from Little Rock, Arkansas. Her name is Pamela Hopkins, and I just love her. She performs all over the world. She's been from Alaska to Guam to Hawaii, just all over performing for troops and things. And she is really big in her area too. But she comes to Nashville a lot and she records. And when she comes, we get together. And her and I and Scott Barrier were at my house. Scott's another brilliant writer.
Oh, so brilliant. Yes.
And I was saying that, you know, I wanted to write a train song, right? I'm like, it's a really long train and I have a very short attention span. And Pamela goes, oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. She goes, in fact, my band is called Squirrel Train just for that reason, because, you know, like squirrel. And I look at Scott. Scott looks at me and we go, we got to write her a theme song. So we did.
Love it.
And I think it's something that everybody can identify with. How many times do you walk into a room and go, I came into this room for a good reason.
And I can't for the life of me remember what it was.
Right. You know,
okay, if you're like, I
Yeah.
have to leave and come back in to remember what I do. You ever do that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If I go back to what I was doing before, maybe it'll come to me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I always call it my mental Rolodex. It's like, you know, my mind works kind of, you know, and I said, look, I'm not high tech in my head. I have it's like little cards and they spin around. I said, it'll come back. I don't know when. It might be in the middle of the night when I have to wake myself up, but it'll come back.
After that temporary ride on the squirrel train.
Yeah. Well, I love it. It's our Waggin Tales Wednesday, and I've got a version of you playing that song, and I want to share it. It is from 12 Keys.
Oh, is it really?
It is from 12 Keys. It's a live performance, and I just love it. I love playing live performances because Nashville has the gift that nowhere else do you experience live songwriter magic like you do on the stages of Nashville.
I love it. Yeah. And that's my favorite thing about Nashville. I love going to the writers' rounds and watching the writers perform the songs. You know, you hear these big hit songs on the radio, but to hear the songwriter do it, oh, that's just magic. You know.
Oh, it is. I always think of it. I always say it's the spout where the glory comes out. I mean, that's like the songwriter got that idea, got that lightning bolt from the divine place, and wrote that song down, and it sounds different. And sometimes it's a whole different thing. When you hear Mark Nessler do Just to See You Smile, you go, okay, this is a whole different meaning. And
or like Will Nance, who was on my podcast this week. Will wrote She's Everything.
Oh,
and
so good.
You know, you hear Brad Paisley's version, to hear Will's, and he does it, you know, like he wrote it for his wife, Holly. And they're totally different. And so anyway. Yeah,
that's the magic of a song. I want to ask you, because you talk to songwriters, you're a songwriter broadcaster who talks to songwriters a lot like me. So I wanted to ask, what songs have really gotten in your heart of late?
Of late. Oh, you know what? I'll tell you what. Of late, I would have to say Jelly Roll's Son of a Sinner.
Oh, yeah.
One of those songs, when I first heard it, I'm like, who is this? And I'm just so happy for him because, you know, he's a local boy he's that unicorn, right? He grew up down in Antioch, and look at him now. I'm just so happy for his success. That song is such a well-written song, and the way he sings it, that soaring chorus, which always gets me. So I'd say that's one of them. I love the Grammy Award-winning song the other day, "Until You Can't." That's "Until You Can't." What?
Yeah. Yeah, those are two of my pullover songs as well. And Hardy, who Wait in the Truck.
Wait in the Truck. Unbelievable. What a powerful song. Yeah.
Yeah, and he and Lainey Wilson just kill on it.
Lovely today.
Where did you come from when you moved to Nashville? Where you hail from?
I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio, rock and roll capital.
Okay. Yeah.
But I started doing country music there in 1980. I worked for the station in Cleveland, was like one of the first to switch to country in that area. Yeah. Then I came to Cincinnati, where I run a broadcast school, and I worked for B105 there in Cincinnati, and later did afternoon drive at Y96 there, YGY at the time. And then got involved with NSAI because I was asked to speak at one of their one of their sessions, and they were talking about how songs make the charts and stuff. And when I came into the room and I saw 60 people that all love to write songs, I'm like, I didn't know this existed. Sign me up.
Yes.
So I never missed a meeting, and I eventually became coordinator of the Cincinnati chapter, and we started coming down to Nashville, writing a lot. I got a cut, and eventually we just knew that we had to be here. And we moved here 10 years ago. So,
oh, brilliant. Well, it is a joy to talk with you. I'm going to close our interview with playing your song live from 12 Key Squirrel Train. Dave Linehan, tell people how they can hear your podcast again.
If you just Google Songwriter Connection, we are everywhere, including YouTube. So although I don't do the video YouTubes yet, but maybe someday, because this is kind of cool. I like this.
See, I'll tell you how the sausage is made, Dave. I'll get in touch with you.
Yes, and please, I would love to have you on my podcast.
Honey, I'm there anytime you want to, because I have thoroughly enjoyed this visit. You have a great rest of your day, and let's talk soon. Okay.
Okay. Thanks, Deb.
All right. Well, just like I promised, here's Squirrel.
Well, I know it's a circle for my age deep in. Yeah, my friends look distracted, so they reason. When I fall to the room and have no clue why I'm there. The guy that I was looking for, I know stands instead. Yeah, my brain was on vacation. Squirrel train, completely off the track. And someone down out wondering if it's ever coming back. Squirrel train, yeah, squirrel train. Well, I must admit I suffer from that CRS disease. My mind goes right everywhere in between. And you gotta know it's a guarantee that I forget your name. I had when he said it till it glittered flied away. Squirrel train, stay some girl train. Yeah, my brain was on vacation. Squirrel train, don't leave me off the track. And sometimes I wonder if it's ever coming back. Squirrel train, oh, the squirrel train. I think my dad can know what I'm talking about, right? And I say to you that I'm no blind and my head ain't filled with air. In fact, it's just the opposite. There's way too much up here. The squirrel train, squirrel train. Yeah, my brain was on vacation. Squirrel train. so forgetful tonight. I had like $1 for every fallout officer last week. You know what? I'd have enough to take us all to the Super Bowl. Yeah, I love these seats, man. We would go and we root for the Eagles, the guys. Who were the other guys? I don't remember. It was the squirrels. Squirrels. That's right. It's not the Titans. I know that. It should be the Bills. So, like, anyways, what was I doing? I was singing. Tell me about the squirrel train.
My name is Pamela Grantham. I am a machine operator at OEM Tubing, and I've been here now for 1.5 years. When I took my first interview here, I was already excited because it was something brand new. To be able to walk out on the production floor and see a piece of metal get turned into a product that we actually use in everyday use. So that kind of kept me interested in wanting to learn and do more. They're very supportive in your training, in your learning process, the growth and development, because when we get better as a team, they get better. So there are plenty of opportunities to grow here. I like working local because of convenience, being able to visit with my daughter, having enough time to get off, do shopping and other errands that I may have to run, and still feel like I have some time to myself when I get home.
I love our business spotlights on our different areas around Middle Tennessee. Clarksville is a hot and growing area, so much, in fact, that we have a show specifically devoted to Clarksville. It's called This Week in Clarksville, hosted by our very own Stephanie Miller, and she's incredible. She's also the host of our Mornings on Main Street. Her stories are great, and you can find them, and I use as much as I can. Sometimes I will use some of her stories like I did this past week on Devin's Table, because she covered the Mail Room in Clarksville, a great restaurant there. You guys are so fantastic each and every week. You share our stories. I wanted to tell you about the norovirus. It is literally affecting everybody, and it is a stomach virus. It is called the stomach flu, a stomach bug. It is really not a flu. It's not an influenza. It is a virus, and it is very contagious, and it's affecting. So make sure you keep up your liquids and keep up your strength, but you've got to rest. You just kind of let it pass, so to speak. And the norovirus, you can look it up and see where it's happening. It's all over the country. So whatever you do, just know that when you go out, that is out there. It's another thing. It ain't just COVID. So be safe out there, everybody. Be kind. And remember, most of all, you are loved. Have a great rest of your day.
We are home. We are family. We are things to do and places to see. Mom and pops, local grown, small business Saturdays. We are Main Street, Main Street, Main Street. We are your Main Street today.